So, if you've been following my content for this short period, you should know that I make some interesting theories, from saying that One Piece is vegetation, Shanks being the leader of Sword, and the location of Lovetail. But this one here is the most interesting yet. I like making theories like this where no one really talks about them, just thinking way outside the box, and today I am going to reveal to you Crocodile's true identity and his past. It would be very easy to say that Crocodile was a part of one of the 5 mafia families because of his attire, the cigar, his ability to infiltrate, and also the scar on his face, which could be a reference to the movie Scarface, but I'm not going to do that today. So first of all, I want to start by saying that I believe that the true parallel to Crocodile and Alabasta isn't Doflamingo and Dressrosa, but rather Kaido and Wano. Both Alabasta and Wano are countries not affiliated with the world government, and both of these countries are connected to Pluton, Alabasta giving us the location and Wano being the location itself. Then there is a very interesting parallel that I haven't seen anybody pick up on. So you have Yamato in Wano, who is the guardian deity of the country, but when we are introduced to Crocodile, he is also called the guardian deity of Alabasta, and I believe that this is actually true, and there is evidence for this, but this is something I will touch on later on in the video. There are even more parallels, such as Luffy first declining to offer to help these countries. He did this first with Vivi when she was trying to take the responsibility for herself instead of asking the Straw Hats to help her with this responsibility, and this is similar to how Luffy declined the Scabbards because he wanted Momonosuke to ask for help himself. Then you have the villains, who are also very similar, both of these characters destroying Luffy multiple times and claiming to have killed him. They both believe that trust is overrated, which to me suggests that they have experience in being betrayed, and what is also interesting is that both of their ranks were infiltrated. Vivi infiltrating Baroque Works as Miss All Wednesday, and X-Drake infiltrating the Beast Pirates as a member of the Flying Six. Now Crocodile says something very interesting back in Alabasta, which was when a kingdom perishes, its royal family perishes with it. This is very similar to how Kaido and Orochi planned to wipe out the Kozuki bloodline after taking over Wano. Very similar beliefs between these two characters. The most interesting parallel is that both Kaido and Crocodile were building an army to challenge the world government. Crocodile's main objective was to always get Pluton and build enough military power to challenge the world government. Now before I give you something a little bit jaw-dropping, look at this scene right here. Does this look familiar? Does this feel a little bit nostalgic? Because if it does, that is because we saw this exact scene back in Alabasta. Very interesting. Now for the jaw-dropping moment. We know Kaido has a Lunarian in his crew, but what if I told you that Crocodile also has a connection with a Lunarian? You might be saying that I am talking a lot of nonsense right now, but I want you to look at this. The Baroque Works Jolly Roger. Does this not look like purple wings? And we also know that purple is the color of royalty, and we know the Lunarians were seen as gods, so I believe these wings represent Lunarians. What connection does he have with them? I am not sure, but looking at Kaido's flashback with King, he says that King should join him and he will never sell him out. What if in Crocodile's case someone sold him out and the Lunarian he was protecting got captured or killed? Because in Marineford he talks passionately about protection. But what do these parallels have to do with Crocodile's identity? Well, we know that Kaido is connected to the Rocks Pirates, and if we continue the theme of this parallel, that means that Crocodile too is connected to the Rocks Pirates as well. And now things are going to get even more wild with this theory. I always found it a bit strange that Crocodile is the only major villain that Oda didn't give a backstory, and now we are heading into the final saga, so what secret about Crocodile could possibly be big enough for the final saga? This is a question I asked myself. Why was Crocodile called a deity back in Alabasta, and why his name is Crocodile to begin with? Now at first I thought this was just Oda giving out a name that fits with the Egyptian theme of Alabasta, as we know that Alabasta is based on Egypt, and Egypt is known for crocodiles. But then I found something interesting when looking into Egyptian mythology and crocodiles, and then it hit me. Crocodile isn't just a name, and that his past is essential to the endgame of One Piece, and this is why Oda has kept it away from us this whole time. I found out that there was an Egyptian god that was worshipped during the ancient kingdom or old kingdom in Egypt, and he was a crocodile. His name was Sobek, the guardian deity of Egypt and protector of the Nile River. Now what I also found out is that in other parts of Egyptian mythology, Sobek is the child of Set, and Set, who was the god of many things, and some of them are the desert, disorder, and warfare. I believe that Oda has mixed these two gods and concept into one theme. So Sobek was known to be a very confusing god, doing good deeds but at the same time doing things that didn't align with the laws of the gods. This is just like Crocodile, who was saving Alabasta from pirates but was also doing unjustful deeds, and we also see this at Marineford, where he comes with with the intention to only kill Whitebeard, but ends up saving Luffy and helping with Ace, behaving in a confusing manner just like Sobek. And Sobek behaved this way because he did things on just pure instinct. But even though Sobek was confusing, he would always prove his loyalty to the god Ra whenever he needed aid against Apep, his natural enemy, the god of chaos. And I believe that we all know that the god Ra was also called the sun god. This is similar to Crocodile, who somewhat proves his loyalty and aids Luffy in Marineford against the sun god's natural enemy, the world government, or rather Emu. Despite his confusing nature, he still does what he is intended to do as the guardian deity of Alabasta and protect the sun god. And then we have Set, who was portrayed to also be a trickster, similar to how Crocodile tricked the kingdom of Alabasta into starting a civil war to take over the country. But what does all this information have to do with the Rocks Pirates? Well, before I get into that, like the video, share it with your friends and family, hit the subscribe button, and don't forget to follow me on Twitter at mask_DP. So, I found out a very interesting detail about Sobek, and that is his other name, wait for it, his other name is Sebek. Sounds very familiar, doesn't it? Sounds like the most mysterious character in One Piece, Rocks D. Zebek. So why did Oda name these two characters after the crocodile Sobek? What connection do these two have through this god, and what could this mean for the final saga? Now, I said before that the true parallel to Alabasta is Wano, yet many people believe that it is Dressrosa, and I do admit that there are some links such as Cruz and Doflamingo being the successful version of Crocodile, but there is something very important that many people leave out when trying to look at Dressrosa and Doflamingo as the inverted version of Alabasta and Crocodile. This important detail that people ignore is that Doflamingo has a secret identity, which is that he is a celestial dragon. But what is the inversion of that secret? What is the opposite of a celestial dragon? Well, it is the D clan, and I believe in the same way Doflamingo had a secret about nobility, Crocodile will also have a secret as big or even bigger, and that is he is a D clan member. And if you haven't figured it out by now, what I am implying is Crocodile is the biggest mystery that everyone has been trying to solve all these years, that he is the child of Rocks D. Sebek. This sounds crazy right now, but there is more information to confirm this, and one of the pieces of information I have gathered is what Ivankov says to Crocodile at Impel Down. He says he knows Crocodile's weakness and says if he gets out of line he will fix him. He doesn't say he will fight him or reveal that water can be used against him, he specifically says fix, meaning he will return him back to his original state, back to his female form. And the other reason why Crocodile changed himself into a man is because he wanted to hide his real identity. In the same way King wears a mask and Law and Ace not using their true names, so you have the world government who are looking for a woman, but instead the child has been turned into a man. Not only was this done to fool the world government, but Oda did this to fool us as well. And what do I mean by this? Well, when you look at One Piece and the theme of these great men and their kids, usually their children are sons. Roger with Ace, potentially Whitebeard and Weevil, Dragon with Luffy, and so on. But Oda used this theme to trick us already. He misdirected us with Kaido's son. The moment we heard that Kaido had a child, everyone was making theories based on a man. Everyone was saying Katakuri or some other wild theories. But then it turned out that this child was actually female, and I think Oda will use the same trick again when revealing to us Rocks' child. You have every One Piece fan focused on finding a son. For instance, people have theories about Buggy or even Shanks, but no one is thinking what if Rocks doesn't have a son but rather a daughter. And Oda is going to use this plot twist again, with it being even more shocking than Yamato's reveal. So you have a pirate in Kaido who is linked to Rocks, have a daughter who sees herself as a man, and then you have Rocks himself have a child who is a daughter and also sees himself as a man. This is a very well played move by Oda. I also find it interesting that Ace and Crocodile have parallels as well. You have these two characters who their fathers fought on God Valley, make a name for themselves as rookies, and both of them receive a warlord position as rookies, as Oda confirmed that Crocodile did indeed become a warlord during his rookie days. And then you have both of them challenge Whitebeard and lose to Whitebeard, and you have both of them being held at Impel Down level 6 across each other. And then there is the fact that they both have the desire to protect Luffy at Marineford. Yes, the way they care for Luffy is different, but as I stated before, Crocodile is based on Sobek, and Sobek was an instinctive god, which reminded me of how Law saved Luffy based on instinct as well. And then we learned that Law is a secret D that saved Luffy based on instinct, and I believe Crocodile will also have a reveal similar to Law. And I believe that his connection to Zebek is how he knew about Pluton and Alabasta way before meeting Robin, because Oda himself stated that the newspaper that Corazon was reading had a headline that was talking about Crocodile saving Alabasta from pirates pirates at the age of 30, and he only met Nico Robin at the age of 40, so he already knew that Alabasta was an important country but couldn't do anything until Robin offered to read the poneglyph for him. So you have Crocodile being a parallel to Kaido, a parallel to Ace, him saving Luffy based on instinct just like Law, and also being named after the same god as Sebek, which is Sobek, the crocodile god, as Sobek's other name is Sebek, and Crocodile being based on him because of his characteristics and his facial feature, which is a crocodile's head. You have the most mysterious character in Sebek, who we know nothing about besides small details given in the story, Oda hiding his story for obvious reasons. Then you have another character who we also know nothing about, where he comes from, or even where his desire to challenge the world government comes from. He has no backstory at all. When you put these two mysterious characters together, you have the biggest One Piece identity reveal to ever be made. So what is his real name? Well, his name is Rox D. Ahmed. Yes, you thought I'd say Rox D. Sobek or Set, but I did state he was a woman before, and there is another god in Egyptian mythology that is based on a crocodile. She is actually a goddess and her name is Amet. So Crocodile's true name is Rox D. Ahmed. Leave a comment on what you think the story behind Crocodile is. Yes, I know this is a wild theory, but this is just how I roll with my theories, and if you want more of this, like the video, don't forget to share and subscribe. This is Masquerade, and I'll catch you on the flip side. Peace.